Smells good, huh?
Yeah.
So purifying. Just sit down with him.
Shall I start?
Sure.
Okay. This is from the National Assembly of the Baha'is of Alaska. The family and friends of Maynard and Eaken, dear friends. The National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Alaska joins with the rest of the Alaska Baha'i community and the family and friends of Maynard Eaken in mourning his passing to the realm of light. Maynard was an indefatigable Baha'i teacher and pioneer. He enrolled as a Baha'i in Anchorage in April of 1969, and 10 days later pioneered to the nearby Matanuska Valley to secure the formation of a local spiritual assembly in that community. He had a profound love for all people and a special place in his heart for Alaska's indigenous peoples, for whom he believed the teachings of Baha'u'llah were the surest means of alleviating their suffering. From early on in his service as a Baha'i, beginning in August of 1969, he participated in multiple intense discussions in locations from Fairbanks to Kenai to Saskatchewan, Canada, with native and non-Baha'i Baha'is, native and non-native Baha'is, regarding how best to share Baha'u'llah's healing message with the native people. Over the course of the decades that followed, he served in many capacities, including membership on several local spiritual assemblies and several of the Alaska Baha'i community's national level committees, sometimes several at once. He served on teaching committees, a hospital visiting committee, a committee for the publication of a newsletter designed for those whose reading skills were limited, and a special committee for organization of a Continental Indigenous Council. Amongst all of this organizational and administrative activity, Maynard's first love remained teaching. He was among the first to participate, often for months at a time, on travel teams of Baha'i teachers, focusing especially on villages in Alaska. During a particularly demanding time in the early 1970s, Maynard's travels in this capacity took him to over 24 villages in the southeast and western Alaska. In addition to serving on many local spiritual assemblies throughout Alaska, including the Matanuska Valley, Bethel, Kotzebue, Ketchikan, and others, Maynard was also elected on multiple occasions to serve as a delegate to Alaska's Baha'i National Convention. In 1978, Maynard was the first, how do you say it? Inupiaq Baha'i to be elected to Alaska's National Spiritual Assembly. During this time, he also traveled with the team sharing the Baha'i message with primarily indigenous peoples in the northwestern U.S. He was elected to the National Spiritual Assembly in consecutive years, until resigning to relocate to Canada in 1981. He returned to Alaska shortly afterwards, though, in 1984, which served as a home base for continued travel as a Baha'i teacher in Dillingham, Kodiak, Canada's Yukon Territory, Haines, Nenana, and New Zealand. During his long and productive life, Maynard displayed an attitude of dedicated service, an abiding love for all people, an enduring sense of humor, and he was a masterful storyteller. He will be missed in this world, but his service will, without doubt, carry on in the spiritual worlds of God, and his soaring spirit will continue to provide inspiration and motivation to all who share his commitment to service to humankind. With loving Baha'i greetings, National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Alaska.
The prayer for the dead is the only Baha'i obligatory prayer that is to be recited in congregation. It is to be recited by one believer while all present stand in silence. Baha'u'llah has clarified that this prayer is required only when the deceased is over the age of 15, that its recital must precede internment, and that there is no requirement to face the Qibla during a recitation. Allahu Akbar is said once, then the first of the 6 verses is recited 19 times. Then Allahu Akbar is said again, followed by the second verse, which is recited 19 times, and so on. O my God, this is thy servant and the son of thy servant, who hath believed in thee and in thy signs, and set his face towards thee, wholly detached from all except thee. Thou art verily of those who show mercy, the most merciful. Deal with him, O thou who forgivest the sins of men and concealest their faults, as beseemeth the heaven of thy bounty and the ocean of thy grace. Grant him admission within the precincts of thy transcendent mercy that was before the foundation of earth and heaven. There is no God but thee, the ever forgiving, the most generous. Allahu Akbar. Verily, we all verily worship God. 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 Allahu Akbar. We all verily bow down before God. 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 Allahu Akbar. We all verily are devoted unto God. 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 Allahu Akbar. We all verily give praise unto God. 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 We all verily give praise and verily give praise unto God. We all verily give praise unto God. We all verily give praise unto God. Allahu Akbar. We all verily yield thanks unto God. 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 Allahu Akbar. We all verily are patient in God. 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 We all verily are patient in God.
My Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. Anga biestu da, anga biestu da. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. Anga biestu da, anga biestu da.
He is God, exalted is he, the Lord of loving kindness and bounty. Glory be unto thee, thou, O my God, the Lord omnipotent. I testify to thine omnipotence and thy might, thy sovereignty and thy loving kindness, thy grace and thy power, the oneness of thy being and the unity of thine essence, thy sanctity and exaltation above the world of being and all that is therein. O my God, thou seest me detached from all save thee, holding fast unto thee, and turning unto the ocean of thy bounty, to the heaven of thy favor, to the day star of thy grace. Lord, I bear witness that in thy servant thou hast reposed thy trust, and that is the Spirit wherewith thou hast given life to the world. I ask of thee, by the splendor of the orb of thy revelation, mercifully to accept from him that which he hath achieved in thy days. Grant then that he may be invested with the glory of thy good pleasure and adorned with thine acceptance. O my Lord, I myself and all created things bear witness unto thy might, and I pray thee not to turn away from thyself this Spirit that hath ascended unto thee, unto thy heavenly place, thine exalted paradise and thy retreats of nearness. O thou who art the Lord of all men, grant then, O my God, that thy servant may consort with thy chosen ones, thy saints and thy messengers in heavenly places, that the pen cannot tell nor the tongue recount. O my Lord, the poor one hath verily hastened unto the kingdom of thy wealth, the stranger unto his home within thy precincts, he that is sore athirst to the heavenly river of thy bounty. Deprive him not, O Lord, from his share of the banquet of thy grace, and from the favor of thy bounty. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the gracious, the all-bountiful. O my God, thy trust hath been returned unto thee. It behoveth thy grace and thy bounty that hath compassed thy dominions on earth and in heaven, to vouchsafe unto thy newly welcomed one thy gifts and thy bestowals, and the fruits of the tree of thy grace. Powerful art thou to do as thou wiliest. There is none other God but thee, the gracious, the most bountiful, the compassionate, the bestower, the pardoner, the precious, the all-knowing. I testify, O my Lord, that thou hast enjoined upon men to honor their guests, and he that hath ascended unto thee hath verily reached thee and attained thy presence. Deal with him then according to thy grace and bounty. By thy glory, I know of a certainty that thou wilt not withhold thyself from that which thou hast commanded thy servants, nor wilt thou deprive him that hath clung to the cord of thy bounty, and hath ascended to the dayspring of thy wealth. There is none other God but thee, the one, the single, the powerful, the omniscient, the bountiful.
That was really odd. All I remember my face.
George was reading the letter, just brought back so many memories of the Alaskan Baha'i community. It was just so unique. I mean, they were just so persistent and dedicated to trying to get out to all these different villages, and it took, I mean, you had to go by plane most of the time, and the circumstances out there were pretty rustic. And just a wonderful spirit to be a part of that period of time. And of course they're still all going strong.
During the period of time when he was married to Dolores, Dolores was a real strong travel teacher in Alaska, and I remember when they were living behind the Matthew Kassab Institute in the trailer that the Murphys then took over afterwards. I'd have supper with them quite often over there with Dolores and Maynard. And I used to travel teach with Dolores. I never went travel teaching with Maynard, but we could feel him supporting us when we would go, for sure.
God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all-sufficing. In him let the trust in trust. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all-sufficing. In him let the trust in trust.
We just found out that Maynard was in Auburn, and I saw it on Facebook, and the last time Amy was here I said, "Oh, Amy, Maynard's in Auburn, we have to go visit him." So we kind of made a pact that we would do this the next time she came down.
And he
But
moved.
he didn't wait, he moved on.
He changed locations.
This is her two daughters.
Oh, I
So
see.
it's
I
Amber's
see.
sister. There's other ones you can just that basically that shot.
So the whole ceremony was for 10 minutes.
Which is her niece?
This is the niece, and this is the grandniece. This is the one her and her husband took care of him.
And then,
So she works with the two Alex as a doctor,
and then you go to your mother's.
family practice clinic.
And
This is her other sister. This is her mom, but this was so
This
this
is-
one's
this is
sister.
the mom of
This
these
one,
two.
yes, and her mother was a Maynard sister, but she's been. So this is just all them. You can see the twin trees. We all wanted
That's
to.
great.
Yeah. So.
The grass
I
is
think
cool.
that's it.
Oh.
This is me and Amber.
So now you're in touch with Amber.
I have her contact information, and yeah.
That's great. We can send her.
Yes.
Did Debbie get your contact information?